Hey, Brad, your link just takes us to a blog page that's got, gobs of images on it. So I'm assuming you're talking about this first one here, and I just wanted to get some feedback to you. So I'm going to assume that it's this first one that you're talking about. Yeah, so, in wildlife photography, so much of the job is just sitting and waiting, sitting and waiting for conditions and subject matter to be all in the right place at the right time, and really knowing your equipment well enough to get the shot in the short period of time where your subject and your conditions are all there at the same time. So yeah, you're probably going to be using a telephoto lens. You're probably going to be using a pretty wide aperture to have that narrow depth of field. I don't know, though. I mean, that's the sun. It's pretty far away, so of course it's going to be out of focus. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right. The shutter speed also has to be pretty fast here, of course, because we don't see any motion blur in our three central subjects. We see something of a blur with our two more outer subjects. However, it could be just distortion from the lens, because this, an extreme telephoto lens is going to give you a pincushion effect, which means you're going to have a lot of distortion around the four corners, which is where your subjects are there. So that could just be from the lens. So you've got to have a pretty fast shutter speed, probably better than 1/125th of a second. So you must have a wide open aperture, like you said, because of the depth of field as well. It would be interesting for you to try and recreate such a silhouetting effect with an illuminated background in the studio. I'd be curious how you would achieve that. That would be an interesting technical exercise for you, either just in your mind or actually in the studio, because there's a lot of things that you can do in the studio to recreate something like this, and I would love to hear your ideas on it. Let's see. Okay, so we need to cite your sources. You need to. I know you told us who took that photograph, but you've got to, actually down at the bottom in MLA format, tell us. A lot of people forgot to do this, and I keep on forgetting to call them out on it. So I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm picking on you. I hope that other people hear this so that they know what's up. But you've got to actually cite the author of the image, and then where you pulled it from. The website that you pulled it from, and the date that you pulled it, and that'll cover you. And also, not everybody, but most people are forgetting that all research questions require citations from the lecture and text. Just because I didn't put it in bold to remind you doesn't mean it's not a requirement. But other than that, pretty good answer. Thank you, Brad.